Tonight, we are learning more about the massacre at a music festival where Hamas terrorists killed over 260 people. My colleague and friend Ralph Sanchez has new reporting on how this horrific attack unfolded. And we want to warn you that the images in this report are more than disturbing.
The sun was rising, but the music played on. 3,500 young people at the Supernova Music Festival dancing into the early hours. At first, moments of confusion, and then sheer terror. Heavily armed Hamas gunmen closing in from all sides. Some joining a desperate stampede across the fields. Others hiding and praying for rescue.
I saw a group of girls in the car, just so afraid to get out, and I realized that even if they're gonna stay there, they're gonna get killed. So just take them and scream at them, just run so fast east, because I understand that if the people that get freeze, they're gonna die.
More than 260 people killed in a massacre that went on for hours. Others kidnapped and dragged into Gaza. Today, we walked the ghostly site ourselves.
This was a place of music, a place of joy, a place of dancing, and now there is just a deathly silence here. People had been making art, they were expressing themselves, and many of the people here are likely to have lost their lives. There are so many families across Israel asking, where was the army? Why didn't they stop this? What do you tell those families?
I tell them it's the responsibility of the army. It's the responsibility of the army for the intelligence. It's our responsibility to guard the people of Israel. We failed on Saturday. This is our responsibility. But now we're fighting.
Just think some of those concert goers thought the paragliders were part of the show. They were terrorists coming to hunt them down. Yaakov Katz joins us now from Jerusalem. He's a fellow at the Harvard Nieman Foundation for Journalism and the former editor for the Jerusalem Post. His daughter is a member of the IDF, and she is stationed in the south of Israel. Yaakov, I cannot imagine the week you are having. I want to start by asking you about your daughter. Are you in communication with her? How's she doing?
Thank you, Stephanie. She's doing well. She's in one of the cities that was attacked just last Saturday with those Hamas infiltrators and terrorists. She's now down there with her unit. She was in the middle of IDF officers training. But like everything in the military today, she was on her way to becoming an IDF officer. That's all changed. And now they took those cadets, gave them some more combat training over the last few days, and sent them down with full battle gear to these cities, and now they've taken up security positions, patrolling, doing whatever they can to help the civilians. That's basically what she's been doing.
You are so relaxed and composed. How scared are you for her safety, for what she's in for?
You know, look, last night, for example, I got a push notification that there was a fear of or concern of a terrorist infiltration right near that city. To tell you that I was not scared, of course I was, right? But I also recognize that this is what Israel needs to do right now. This is what the Israeli military needs to do right now. I'm not unique, right? I have my daughter, I have a brother up north on the Lebanese border. I have 3 nephews who are in significant elite combat units that are preparing to go into the Gaza Strip with that force. But my story is like every other Israeli story. We are a country of not a lot of people. We are a country of people who serve in the military. And when called upon to defend our country, as we need to after that abhorrent, unimaginable massacre last week, this is the moment that we are in. Unfortunately, we still have to fight for our survival.
I am so taken by your strength right now. We spoke about this in the last segment. You were just talking about an elite military unit. When I think of elite, it is elite intelligence capabilities. That is what Israel is known for. How do you think this happened?
Look, Stephanie, this was a strategic failure on levels that we still do not understand. And that there will have to be a commission of inquiry. There will have to be a day of reckoning for Israel that will have to come after this war. And people will have to be held accountable. But I think that what happened, it was a double-layered failure. On the one hand, Hamas put Israel to sleep. Hamas was telling Israel, we don't want a conflict. We want economic incentives. We want to be engaged. We're not looking for a larger scale confrontation. Yes, we'll have an occasional cycle of violence that will last a day, 2 or 3, but nothing bigger. And Israel bought into that. They put us to sleep. They also normalized coming close to the border. Every week in the last couple of weeks, they would hold protests. So Israel got used to seeing people close to the border where they shouldn't have been. And then on the second layer was the planning of this operation, which took a long time. Thousands of Hamas terrorists involved. So how could they have done it without Israel listening, without Israel knowing? The basic bottom line is what they did was they divided, they compartmentalized, right? Only a handful of people must have known what was really happening. And the second part was they didn't use any of these. There was no electronic communication. Israel, since it pulled out of Gaza, Stephanie, in 2005, it doesn't have boots on the ground in Gaza. So it doesn't have a lot of human assets, human agents. What it relies on is electronic eavesdropping, signal intelligence. And the moment that they don't use that, it's going to be very hard to pick up on what's happening.
The Israeli military, as we all know, is preparing for this potential ground invasion in Gaza. What do people in Israel think about this?
Look, Israelis are very concerned and anxious, especially those who have children and brothers or sons, and husbands. So many reservists, 300,000 reservists have been called up who would be going in with that force. And we know, and I listened to the panel before with the general and Jeremy, we know what resistance is there. There's tunnel networks. There's impressive Iranian-designed IEDs. They're waiting for Israel, right? So while Israel has been trying to destroy as much infrastructure from the air, that terrorist infrastructure, they are preparing for these troops. But with that said, there is wall-to-wall support for what Israel needs to do. Because let's remember, Stephanie, this isn't about vengeance. This isn't about revenge. This is about securing the state of Israel. Hamas invaded Israel and butchered over 1,000 civilians. Israel has no choice right now but to go back in and take what's known in military terms as the line of contact, which was brought into Israel with the attack. We have to bring it back into the Gaza Strip. Let's remember, Israel has no strategic depth. So we have no choice but to fight our battles in enemy territory, because the moment they cross into Israel, they're inside our homes. They're killing our civilians. That's what happened on Saturday.